Exactly 1 p.m. East African time. Thank you so much for finding time to join us this afternoon as we update you on what is happening on Matters News. Welcome on board. This is News Deck with me, Linda Alela. And to start off, 2 illegal loggers have been arrested by Kenya Forest Service officers in Eldoret town earlier today. According to the North Rift head of Conservancy, Benjamin Kinyili, logging and charcoal burning trade is still highly practiced across the country, with many illegal loggers devising ways to evade arrest. The 2 illegal dealers are currently being held at a police station in Eldoret town. Kinyili has also issued a crackdown on illegal charcoal dealers in the area. Benjamin Kinyili, North Rift, of course. Let's take a look.
Tukaweza kuweka mtego barabarani tukishirikiana na maafisa ya polisi na kuweza kuwanasa ambao walikuwa wanasafirisha hayo makaa gunia 77 ambao zina gharimu 77,000. Kuna ambao zilikuwa zinatoka upande wa Cheranganyi Forest kule Kapiego ambao ni aina ya cedar, ile red cedar pieces 200, na pia kulikuwa na nyingine inaitwa rosewood, aina ya mti ya mkorombodhi rosewood, ambao ni pieces 100. Zote ni pieces, ni vipande 300 ambao ziko na dhamani ya shilingi 250.
And still in Eldoret, at least 300 children from the Kabukunji informal settlement in Eldoret town have benefited from free donation of sanitary towels. The donations were from a Pink Feather organization, who also donated at least 30 sanitary towels to street girls within Eldoret town. Now, the donors say they intend to extend the donations to other slum estates such as Huruma, Munyaka and Langas.
Wengi wao walikuwa wanategemea za serikali ambazo walikuwa wanapewa shuleni, sodo hizi. Lakini sasa vile kuna corona, watoto hawaendi shuleni, imekuwa vigumu kwa wao kupata bidhaa hii muhimu. So shirika hili letu limejitolea kwa hali na mali kutumikia wasichana wetu mashinani.
Kijana yeyote atakayeweka mimba msichana, hakika wewe utaenda jela miaka 16. Wote ni wanafunzi.
Well, and as the president is expected to address the nation on the 6th June on the state of COVID-19 containment, church leaders from Narok County are hopeful that indeed churches are going to be reopened. And of course, the measures that are going to be put on board as we eagerly wait, the clergy say they are ready to follow the measures that will be put on board for as long as this is going to be ensured that at least they are able to carry out the activities and church activities as expected. The government ordered the closure of places of worship from 14th of March 2020.
Tungeomba ya kwamba kama tutafunguliwa makanisa tuweze kuweka mikataba ambayo iliwekwa na idara ya health ya kwamba mikono kuosha, keep distance, na pia make sure masks zimewekwa hata kama tuko kwa ibada.
It's our humble request and our prayer that even as the president gave directions that the interior security is going to work with the task forces. We believe before Saturday already there will be that directives and guidelines on how we are going to get back to the church.
Yes, as we proceed, it's important that you interact with us. Remember, this is, of course, News Deck with me, Lunch Hour, updating you on what is happening on the world of news. TV47 at TV47 is the Twitter handle that you can drop your SMS. I can see that there are very many people who are watching as it stands right now. So it's important that you keep us up to speed. We have so much in store for you. We are talking matters politics. We're looking at the situation across the country, the 47 counties respectively, and we keep updating you even more. And still on matters Eldoret, I think we'll also be taking you through there. And of course, we take a look at these particular stories. Liz is on ground following up on matters politics. We also have our reporter Lydia Gashomo, who's also following up on the purge or the ongoing wrangles within the Ford Kenya party. And also we take a look at still the purge that is ongoing in Jubilee party. So much so in the world of news, coming to the international scene also. Lexi Kimani is on ground addressing or taking a look at what is happening on the protests that are ongoing and that death of or the murder of Floyd. So we'll be taking a look at all this. And what next do we have on store? All right. Yes, let's take a look at this particular story. And now residents of Uasin Gishu County have welcomed the election of Senator Professor Margaret Kamar as Senate Deputy Speaker with joy, terming her as qualified a leader who deserves or deserved the position. Senator Kamar went to the polls and opposed after Senator Judith Pareno withdrew her candidature hours before the House votes.
Tunataka kupokea kiti ambaye Mheshimiwa Kamara amepewa kama deputy speaker. Tumekuwa na furaha katika hii Uasin Gishu yetu. Kwa sababu tunajua Mheshimiwa Kamara amekuwa outstanding lady. Amekuwa mama ambaye ako na busara. Amekuwa mheshimiwa ambaye ametusaidia miaka mingi hata akiwa minister ya education. Hajakuwa na partiality bali popote. So sisi kama viongozi wa Eldoret tunataka kubongeza mama na tunabongeza hata wachumbe yote ambaye waliona mama natosha kwa hii kiti. Sisi kama viongozi ya North Rift tumefurahia na tunasema kama mama amepewa kiti sio ile ya kusema ati imekuwa na upendeleo.
So tumeona mama amefaa kwa hiyo kiti. Tangu mama akuwe senator wa Uasin Gishu, amekuwa MP Eldoretist, amekuwa ni mama wa msaada sana. Tumemfurahia kazi yake, hatujawahi kusikia amekorogana na mtu. Kazi yake anafanya kwa ushupavu hali ya juu.
Tunashukuru sana kwa mama mwenzetu kwa kupewa kiti ya deputy. Tuko na furaha sana na tunamuombea Mungu sana ili aweze kuendelea. Kamar, tunakupenda sana pamoja na mwenzako deputy. Tunashukuru sana, shikilia hiyo kiti, tuko pamoja nawe mama. Nani kama mama?
Tunaambia mama Kamar ya kwamba iweze kutufanyia kazi ambayo imeweza kuchakuliwa, iweze kutufanyia kazi ili tuweze kupata nguvu ya kwamba hii kiti ambayo tunapigania iko na udhamini na iko na maana ambayo sisi tutafurahia.
Yes, of course, getting that seat unopposed, something that has been lauded towards ensuring that there's also that aspect of gender balance. But most importantly, I mean, that was quite a interesting move right there, even as the purge in Jubilee Party continues. Of course, the likes of Aden Duale being lucky enough to have been saved as of the day before yesterday, as of that purge that was conducted by President Uhuru Kenyatta. So it's time that we take a breather and we'll come back with much more news, so don't you go anywhere. And welcome back to Newsdeck. Thank you so much for choosing to stay with us. Now, more than 3,000 people with disabilities from North Rift will benefit from 200 million shillings set to cushion them from the effects of COVID-19. But as Calvin Chitwa reports, people with disabilities in the region want the council to work with their association to ensure that all genuine needy persons benefit from the fund. Take a look.
North Rift National Council for People with Disabilities Coordinator Leonard Wafula says 100 people from each constituency will benefit from the fund.
We have given this money to those who had arrears, and we have a balance of 200 million. So right now we are recruiting other persons with disability who are equally affected by this COVID. Now,
speaking while launching the fund in Eldoret, Wafula said all 6 counties from the region, which includes Uasin Gishu, Nandi, Baringo, Turkana, Trans Nzoia, West Pokot, and Elgeyo Marakwet, will have a share of the kitty. Majority of beneficiaries are people with disabilities who have been affected as a result of COVID-19 pandemic. Each beneficiary will get 2,000 shillings every month. Pius Asuke, the chairman of disabled people working as shoe shiners in Eldoret town, has asked the council to work with his association to ensure that all genuine need cases benefit from the fund.
Baadhi yao wengine wanapata hiyo pesa na wengine bado hawapati hiyo pesa. Sasa tunajiuliza kama ilikuwa imeletewa kuhusu COVID-19 ya kusaidia watu wa disabled pamoja na watu ambao hawajiwezi kabisa, kwa nini waweze kutenga wengine kando na wengine huwa wanapata hiyo pesa? So tunataka tuulize kwamba kama imeletwa iwe imefika hata kwa Uasin Gishu County, wasibague mtu yote kupata hii pesa kwa sababu ni ya usaidizi kwa wale ambao hawana.
His sentiments were echoed by Martin Omondi together with Martha Wanjiko, both traders with disabilities in Eldoret town.
Kama hizo zikiweza kupatikana, wakaweze kuhakikisha kwamba watu wamepata ripoti kwa njia kwa haraka sana.
Hizo pesa ambazo zimetoka siwezi kufuatiliwa na wazee wa mitaa vizuri na mtu kama MCA.
The traders want the council to work with local administrators to identify genuine beneficiaries. The fund is part of 500 million shillings set aside by the government to cushion disabled people countrywide. Calvin Chitwa, TV47, Uasin Gishu County.
All right, and from that very story, we cross over all the way to Rwanda, Kigali. Diana Iriza is on standby so she can update us on what is happening down there. Diana, if you can hear me.
Hi there, I can hear you.
Oh, thank you so much for finding time. Now, what's happening? What's so strange? What's so newsy down there in Kigali?
So I'm here to talk to you about the FinScope surveys that has been released recently, and how basically the businesses in Rwanda and how the financial sector is performing here in Rwanda. So if you look at the FinScope surveys, these are surveys that are carried out after every 4 years, and they happen to be one of the most used surveys to measure financial inclusion and access to finance, and they're being used by more than 30 countries. And if you look at the survey, FinScope survey results, they show that in the past 4 years, in 2016, the percentage of Rwandans that have access to finance is 89%, and the percentage of Rwandans 4 years later, fast forward to 2020, the results that have been released recently, the percentage of Rwandans that have access to finance is 93%. So this has highly impacted and positively impacted in the business sector here in Rwanda. It is said that the number of businesses have increased. So far we have a number of 800,000 Rwandans that have access to finance and that also own businesses. So it's a really good thing to hear, a really good results for me to share with you and other countries in East Africa. But still, the Rwandan government is still not satisfied with this number. It's not satisfied with the fact that 1 in 9 Rwandans own businesses. And it is coming up with new measures on how Rwandans can expand in the business sector. If you look at the Ministry of Trade and Industry, it is coming up with an entrepreneurship development policy to serve in fostering enterprises growth and create impact such as job creation, products diversification, among others. So that's pretty much it. Amidst COVID-19, there's a lot going on. Businesses are making losses, but at least if you look at if you compare this year to 2016, 4 years ago, businesses have expanded, businesses have grown, and we're just hoping to keep seeing businesses grow more and more people owning businesses here in Rwanda.
Thank you so much, Diana Iriza, all the way from Rwanda, Kigali. Indeed, quite a commendable report right there, having known the repercussions that came on board after the genocidal, activities that were ongoing down there. Indeed, something commendable. Looking at the population in comparison to the number of people who are able to access finances, who own businesses, indeed, it's something to celebrate. But that aside, Kenyan Premier League giants Gor Mahia are reeling from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic that has condemned sporting action to its knees. And of course, as Julius Juma now reports, the club's players are unpaid for the last 5 cool months. Take a look.
There is no party at the Kenya Premier League record champions Gor Mahia as financial taps run dry, worsened by the COVID-19 pandemic that has upended the world. Kogalo players are yet to receive a single cent in salaries for the last 5 months. Fingers are now crossed due to the uncertainty surrounding the end of the coronavirus scourge.
Unapata most of us tumeoa, tuko na familia nyumbani. So it affects sana in the term of saizi kusurvive na tu ni hand and mouth. Pesa unapata ni ya kukula mtu memali. Hauwezi lipa nyumba for the fact.
Club chairman Ambrose Racher laments over the financial crisis, noting that the Green Army foot soldiers are at the mercy of well-wishers.
So for 4 to 5 months, let me say 5 months now, including May, which is just passed, we haven't paid any of them any salary. But we've been relying on small handouts from well-wishers.
Racher has revealed that he has been forced to talk to the players' landlords to avoid a possible eviction from their rented houses during this difficult time.
I keep writing to their landlords just to understand, and I want to thank those landlords that have already extended a good time for them to be able to pay when we are able to pay.
Stephen Pollack's troops, however, remain optimistic that the current tides will be short-lived and the financial woes buried deep and buried for good.
Si rahisi. It's been very difficult. But tuna hope for better things ahead. Kwa sababu at the moment, things are tight.
So si tuna hope tu na tunaomba kila wakati. Hii situation iishe, vitu zirudi normal. But kama mambo ya kutolipwa, hii ni crisis iko all over the world. So hii hatuwezi sema eti ni Gor Mahia ama ni entity nyingine, but inaweza kuwa tu ni all over the world na kila mtu tu anaomba tu iishe.
Gor Mahia players each received a 10,000 Kenyan shillings token from the government through the Ministry of Sports to cushion them against the hard-hitting effects of COVID-19. Reporting for TV47, I'm Julius Juma.
And still on sports, Liverpool head coach Jurgen Klopp has cautioned rival clubs set to face the Reds upon the resumption of the English Premier League, resumes in 2 weeks' time. And Liverpool are 25 points clear at the top of the EAPL standings and need just 2 wins to land their first league title in 30 years. And the German tactician insists that his charges will not be taking any casualties en route to the historic feat. 4 hospitals are overwhelmed. Lexi Kimani reports.
The U.S. Embassy in Tanzania seems skeptical